Hello, my beautiful. And today I'm going to get you chapters 8 and 9 of Deep Blue. I thank you for being very patient with me as I get to feeling better. Thank you. Please leave your comments in the comment section. Thank you. If you remember in the last chapter, Sera and Neela swim out the window and are racing, and they stumble across two mermen, and we'll see what happens there. And here we go. Here's my wolf bookmark if you like wolves. As you can see, it's 3D. And here we go. Neela caught up to Serafina and grabbed her arm. Come on, she said, trying to pull her away from the merman. This is dangerous. We should get the palace guards. But what if they're hurt or bleeding? We can't just leave them. Yes, we can. We totally can. Serafina broke free of Neela's grip and swam back to the bodies. They're not dead, they're breathing, and oh, wow, didn't expect that. Neela closed her eyes. She pinched the bridge of her nose. How could they be so stupid, she wondered. How? Neela, it's Mahdi and Yazid, Neela said. She looked down at them. The two mer boys were lying on their backs. Mahdi had a purple scarf tied around his head and smudged lipstick kisses on his cheek. A gold hoop dangled from one ear. His black hair was pulled back in a hippocamp's tail. Yaz was wearing a pair of sparkly earrings. Someone had drawn a smiley face on his chest with lipstick. He had a string of pink in his cropped black hair, a heavy gold chain around his neck, and a tattoo on his arm. She continued to stare at them. A large, homely, hump-head wrasse swam up to Yaz. It nudged his chin. Yaz flung an arm around it, pulled it close, and kissed it. As Mahdi snorted on, Yazid murmured compliments to the fish about her beautiful blonde hair. Neela, livid, gave each boy a hard slap with her tail. Ow! Mahdi cried. Dang, Merle! Yaz yelped, letting go of the fish. All I said was, Neela. Once again, the light said, Yaz, you squid, where were you? I was waiting for you. I decided to hang here until you caught up. I must have fallen asleep. Why are you always the lowest common denominator? Yazid, take those stupid earrings off and sit up, both of you, Neela scolded. Serafina's here. Mahdi paled. What? He said. Oh, no. He sat up. Serafina, is that you? Nice to see you too, Mahdi, Serafina said. Her voice was cool, but Neela could see the confusion in her eyes. She hoped to keep her cousin's foolishness a secret from her, Sera. She hoped he could behave during this day. Apparently, that was too much to ask. Look, Serafina, I need to explain, he started to say, getting up. Mahdi, are you shimmering? Serafina asked. Hold on a minute. You shimmering? Neela said. She swam up to Mahdi and looked him over. And then Yazid. But parts of them were shimmering and other parts were completely see-through. She grabbed her brother's gold chain and pulled it over his head. A small whelk shell dangled from it, and as she turned it over, 2 pink pearls fell out. Transparency pearls, she said. Let me guess. You two cast pearls last night, then snuck out of the palace. When you tried to sneak back in, all the doors were locked. The windows, too. So you spent the night here, passed out under a coral. The only question is, where did you go? Nowhere, Yazid said innocently. Just out for a swim. And of course, where did he go? Nowhere. Oh, oh, please, I bet you went to the lagoon. You did, didn't you? Neela said, crossing her arms over her chest. Neela looked around, suddenly interested in the architecture. Yazid looked around, suddenly interested in the architecture. Neela glanced at Sera again. Her friend's eyes were on the lipstick kisses on Mahdi's cheek. They traveled to the scarf on his head. It had an L embroidered on it. L for Lucia, Neela thought. Her heart clenched as she saw the hurt on Sera's face. You're really something, Mahdi, she said angrily. We are guests of the Merovingia, invited here for your betrothal, I might add. And you go shoaling? We weren't shoaling. We were, attending a concert. Broadening our cultural horizons, Yaz said. Neela held up her hands. Just stop, she said. She turned to her cousin, thumbed a smudge of lipstick off his cheek, and showed it to him. Broadening your horizons? Mahdi had the good grace to blush. Neela, Serafina said in a small voice, I have to get back. But Neela didn't hear her. She was scolding her brother again as they continued to argue. Mahdi swam up to Serafina. Hey, Sera, he said haltingly. Sorry, Mahdi. I have to go. No, wait, please. I'm sorry about this, really. This is not how I thought we would meet again. I know how it looks, but things aren't what they seem. Serafina smiled ruefully. I guess mer-men aren't either. Mahdi flinched at that. Serafina, he said, you don't know. You, Serafina said. I don't know you, Mahdi. Not anymore. Serafina, Yaz shouted. Help me out, Merle. Tell Tsunami here to cut me a break. All we did was hang out at the Corsair. The Dead Reckoners were playing. They're my favorite band. Mahdi's too. We had to go. Otherwise, total FOMO. FOMO? Serafina echoed. Fear of missing out, Yaz said. Don't encourage him, Sera. He thinks he's a badass with all of his stupid god-like slang. Neela said. We started dancing, and some silly Merrills recognized Mahdi and went crazy, drew all over us with lipstick. Then some swashbucklers told us there was an all-night wave going on in Cerulean, so we swam back, Yaz said. That's all that happened, I swear. An all-night wave in the ruins of the Regia? Neela said. Do you really expect us to believe that? It's a national monument. Is that where we are? We're supposed to be in the Collegio. Navigate, he gave Maddie a look. Navigate much? Yaz was fibbing wildly. Neela was sure of it. He was trying to cover up what they'd really been doing. Look, I really do have to go, Serafina said. She was good at hiding her feelings, but this time even she couldn't pretend. Wait, Sera, Mahdi said, looking desperate. I'm sorry you're hurt. I'm sorry, you're hurt. I know you are. Oh no, I'm perfectly fine, Your Grace, Serafina said, blinking back tears. Mahdi shook his head. Your Grace? Whoa, Sera, it's me. Yes, it is. I guess Lucia was right, Sera said softly. She shook her head. Don't worry about it, Mahdi. I'm fine. I would be hurt if I cared. And that, ladies and gentlemen, ends chapter 8. See you in the morning. Chapter 9 starts on page 71, and here we go. Good morning, Your Grace. Good morning, Principessa. All good things to you on this happy day, Your Highness. In the grand hall, courtiers bowed and smiled. Seraphina thanked them, accepting their good wishes graciously. But all the while, her tears were threatening to spill over. Her heart was broken. She had given it to Maudie, and he had shattered it. He was not who she thought he was. He was careless and cruel, and she never wanted to see him again. Sera was swimming fast to her mother's stateroom, where the business of the room was conducted, to tell her what had happened. She knew her betrothal was a matter of state, but surely, in this day and age, no one would expect her to pledge herself to someone like Maudie. As she arrived at the stateroom, her mother's guards bowed and pulled the huge doors open for her. 3 of the room's 4 walls were covered floor to ceiling in shimmering mother of pearl. Adorning the walls were tall Pietra Duca panels, ornately placed in sets of amber, quartz, lapis, and malachite, depicting the realms Reginas. 20 massive blown-glass chandeliers hung from the ceiling. Each was 8 feet in diameter and contained thousands of tiny lava globes. At the far end, a single throne, fashioned in the shape of a sea fan and made of gold, towered on an amethyst dais. The wall behind it was covered